Do you know that there are two main things, if you really want to make change, that you have to work on right here, right now? I will be giving and revealing these two things. Not that it's something I created or I came up with, but something that I have learned a long time ago and I finally mastered within the last 6 to 12 months. And I promise you, if you're not happy with what you've been doing, whatever routine, whatever process that you have, if you're not creating the life that you desire and you deserve, and this is going to make a change. This is the ME Show.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. Oh, I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the ME Show. My name is Ali Madawi, and I am your host with the avocado toast. And yes, if you are here, I'm pretty sure I can help you a little bit as we help struggling entrepreneurs to leverage social media and the digital space to create brand equity and revenue. And today I'm going to talk to you about two main characteristics that you need to have in order to create positive change, in order to achieve anything that you desire and wish for. Now, with that, let me know in the comments, wherever you may be, where you're from, and are you an entrepreneur? Are you even attempting to make an impact in any way, shape, or form, whether it is on your life or on somebody else? And let me know who's that person that really inspires you to keep on going each and every day. Let them have it. Give them some love and let them know that you are thinking of them. So let's talk about the two main characteristics that you are to have. If you don't have these two characteristics, you may just move a needle a little bit, but then you'll be going backwards a lot more than you are trying to go forward. So while you are manifesting and meditating and doing all the things that you think you may be doing, these main two pieces are the ultimate qualifiers for you to achieve anything that you desire and you deserve. Now, what qualifies me to be talking about this? Well, I've done a little some for myself over the last it's been 15 years now, where I've developed businesses all around the world. Now, remember, this is a guy that came from a third world country saying me no English 20 years ago. This is a guy who was Ali, a busboy. This is a guy who did not necessarily have the qualification, the education, nor the language to be doing what I'm doing with you each and every single day right now. So with that, I want you to know I'm here to give you some love. So the very first thing that I finally understood is to have a burning desire. Now, it sounds a little bit cliche / common sense-ish, but let's dig into that. First of all, where did the concept burning desire, the statement itself, the phrase burning desire come from? So back in the early 1900s in the city of Chicago, Illinois, there was a major protests and riots and things that were taking place. And then all of the main street stores were totally burnt. I mean, so much so that it was nothing but ashes. And it was a really, really big time place for commerce, for business owners at the time. And then what they did is they got the Chamber of Commerce and all of its members together, and they sat down and they started talking, hey, are we rebuilding in here, or do we just, go somewhere else? And all 12 major business owners, store owners, the main 12 people that held most of that main street have talked, and all but one have decided they're going to move to another state and rebuild their businesses because they didn't want to be in the same area. And then the one person that stayed, his name, and you can look him up, his name is Marshall Fields. There's actually a major clothing store, a high-end clothing store that still exists till today, almost 100 years later, that is called Marshall Fields. And what Marshall Fields said, he looked and he said, gentlemen, over there will be a store for the ages that will outlive every generation because it is my burning desire. Now, that's where the words burning desire. Now, you know, right? Burning desire came from there, right? So he had such a burning desire to not only rebuild, but make it last forever, regardless of protests or differences or changes. That store, by the way, is still, their headquarters is still till this day in Chicago, Illinois. It still exists. It's still operating. So what does that teach you and I? Burning desire is not just a wish. Burning desire is not something that just feels good. Burning desire is the ultimate non-negotiable. I want it so bad that I will never go backwards from it. Burning desire is that thing that makes your heart beat. Burning desire is that thing that will not make you quit, that will literally oversee all of the different laws of cause and effect, of polarity, of correspondence, of law of proximity, law of, I mean, I can go on and on all the different laws. It subsides all of them. And you got to understand why this is important. I'll give you another example. And this example was actually documented in the second chapter of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, where Edwin C. Barnes from Paterson, New Jersey, he wanted and desired so bad to go in business with Thomas Edison. He didn't want to work for him. He didn't want to just have a job in his organization. No, he wanted to be his partner. And he had no money to speak with. Like, he had nothing in it. He didn't even have enough money for the train. And what he's done, he, with a little bit of change that he said, he put it back in his pocket. And as the train started going, he just jumps on the train itself from Paterson to Edison, what now is Addison, New Jersey. And then he just went and arrived in the headquarters, and he walked in, asked the secretary, "Hello, my name is Edwin C. Barnes, and I am here to go in business with Mr. Edison." He didn't say, "I'm here to seek a job or an opportunity." He said, "I'm here to go in business with Mr. Thomas A. Edison." And what happened was, not only he had a lot of things to overcome because he had gateways, right? The people who are in the front who are not letting you get to him. And he tried and tried and tried. And then they ultimately let him know that very same day, speak to him. Thomas Edison said, you know, "What do you have to offer?" Like, he could obviously tell the guy didn't have much of influence from his attires and whatnot. And what he ended up doing by default, he told him, "Mr. Edison, I am here to go in business with you." So Thomas Edison just dismissed him in a nice way. In other words, he gave him just something to do just to stay in the vicinity, but he did not allow him right away to go in business. And it took over a year for Edwin C. Barnes to have his opportunity. And his opportunity came when he's cleaning up and walking by the sales team of Thomas Edison when he developed the dictating taping machine. And he told them, like, "Hey, this is going to sell all over the country, and I need you to take it countrywide." And they said, "We don't think this is going to sell." They just didn't believe in the concept. And it was frustrating for him. It was aggravating for him. It was whatever it was. And then by default, he walks in after he dismisses them. And he says, "Mr. Edison, I believe I can sell this machine, and I can sell it everywhere." And he said, "If you can prove it to me and sell it, we'll go in business together." And then it ended up being, that whole operation became built by Edison, installed by Barnes. That was the name of the actual business itself, that they went in business together. So with a burning desire comes consistency, comes persistence, comes by any means necessary. He burned the boat. He had no money in his pocket. He had nothing, left it all behind with one decision. Not, I hope. Because most people, guess what we do? We quit. We go backwards. We're like, well, maybe it didn't work out. After a year, cleaning and sweeping and doing whatever it is. So his burning desire got him exactly what he wanted. Because if you have a burning desire, you remove all negative options. You remove any plan Bs. You remove it all. I mean, there was even and this is in the book of Sun Tzu, when they went to war, and they were less than 500 warriors in an island where there were all treasures of the world. And, they went there because they felt like they were done wrong. Their rights were violated. And then there were 2,000 plus soldiers in that island that are protecting the island, the treasures, the resources. And then he turns around and he tells his generals, "Burn the boats." And then they take the arrows with the fire in the head, and then they throw it and they burn each one of those 3 boats. And he says, "Gentlemen, obviously you can tell we have 2 options in here. We either are going to win and get what is rightful for our families and generations after us, or we will perish. Again, a burning desire that removed all options. We are going to get it done because we're going to get it done. And guess what? The story tells that they not only went and were victorious, but they changed the generations to come after, and still till this day, it impacted a major side of the population in Asia as we speak. So that is another example of burning desire, right? Yours truly, coming from a busboy who was cleaning up tables and washing dishes in a restaurant, had a burning desire to do something great for himself. I always knew I wanted to serve people. As a matter of fact, when I was a young kid, I wanted to be a lawyer. I genuinely, I tried everything. I would go to every crime scene. I would go to courts and I'll sit for no reason. I did everything that I could because that I was so fascinated. And life took a turn. You know, there was a lot of trauma growing up. There was a lot of abnormal upcoming, let's just call it that. I love my family, everything is good now, but there was just a good decade of nothing good and nothing normal, and it derailed that passion that I had, but it's still in the back of my head. Now that I'm sitting right here in front of you, and for the last 6 months straight, I'm teaching the law of the universe, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still teaching the law. I'm a different kind of lawyer, and I'm a good one too. So with that being said, I have a burning, and I always had a burning desire to serve, to speak, to train, to teach, to mentor. And though I had network marketing companies that have failed me, though I had business partners that have taken advantage of me, though I had clients that didn't pay and stiffed us, like, in many different occasions, though we had things that we've developed and built in the masses, and the ether had different plans for us, I understood enough of the laws of the universe and maintained my burning desire to do what I do with you right here, right now. I never cared about numbers and figures. Don't get me wrong. I'm fiscally responsible, and I have a staff member that handles all of that because I know that's not where my passion is. But I created a system, a way for me to remove all options. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, point blank, period. And I'm going to do it so well, and I'm going to get paid for it really, really well. And I'm going to recycle those funds to everybody around me that I'm working with, where we all eat. That was always and have been my burning desire, and I'm creating so many great things with it. You start looking at life just from a solution perspective. So that is the very first characteristic. So do you have a burning desire? And I mean a burning desire that no matter how negative your bank account is, and I'm talking about your health account, I'm talking about your financial account, I'm talking about your time account, whatever accounts that you carry in life, no matter how negative they may be, are you still maintaining the focus on your burning desire? Are you staying and forcing the positivity onto yourself? Are you persistent and consistent? Are you maintaining the daily grind, the income producing activities, the daily method of operations? Are you maintaining with, I have the final destination, and no matter what happens in my life, my mental GPS says redirecting, and it may take a different turn that may delay my trip a little bit, but it'll bring me right back to the main lane. That is a burning desire. And if you don't have it, I got bad news for you. You're not ready for success. You're just not. I'm not saying you're not going to have it. You're just not ready for success. So you're going to have to work on that inner self, on the things that we teach. By the way, before I give you the second one, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, your strategic partners team, we're having a major virtual event from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be teaching all fundamentals of success in business, from digital, from business development, from mindset, and so much more. And you already know we're going to go even deeper in what we're talking about right now. So it's going to be about an hour and a half to 2 hours of gold. And you know what's the good news? It's complimentary. You just let me know in the chat, in the comment, wherever you're watching, because I know we're in multiple platforms right now. Just let me know, and I got your back. We'll make sure we give you access to tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, now let's talk about the second characteristics. So you need the first leg, which is a burning desire, but then you need the second leg, and the second leg is blind faith. See, faith is not when I'm positive, I believe all is well, or when things are really bad, all of a sudden I'm looking for a God. Unfortunately, even people that are within faith, in whatever Abrahamic faith, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Muslim, Islam, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever you believe, it's between you and your creator. What I am referring to is people wait until they get cancer before they become really, really all of a sudden positive. And, they ask God, please just give me one chance. They try to make a deal. or like the car will die in the middle of the highway, and all of a sudden, like, please, dear God, please, just this one chance. If you make me go through this, everything will work out. But then somehow, some way, they make it through whatever it may be, and they kind of forget about that communication line that they had when they really needed something. See, you have to have blind faith, and blind faith is the ultimate quiz, is the ultimate exam. What I mean is, it's like an invisible person that is next to you that is just throwing you all these curveballs and throwing you all these loops and throwing you all these hardships. See, what the ultimate faith does, it allows you to operate at a much higher frequency. When challenges appear before you, you have two options. Either I say, think. I know this is good. I know it's going to work out. I know I'm going to figure it out. I know it's going to happen. And that frequency of conversation starts to happen by creator and you, co-creator, to figure out a solution. Then you say, I got it. I figure it out. And then you somehow, some way figure out a solution. Or do you just quit? Do you just say, well, maybe it's not my time. Maybe it's not working out. Maybe this, maybe that. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes maybe it isn't the right time, but I'm here to tell you, I'm a guy that went through everything you can imagine. Child molestation, sexual abuse, physical abuse, homelessness, whatever you can think of, I've experienced it. And I'm here to tell you, it was always through that blind faith to know, like, I'm going to make it. Everything's going to work out. I know this sucks, but it could be so much worse. The mindset of, I used to feel bad for the person that had no shoes until I met the person that had no feet. See, again, Edwin C. Barnes knew without a shadow of a doubt, I have faith that I will go in business with Thomas A. Edison. He was always ready. I'm just going to keep on cleaning this office until I hear my opportunity to go in business with him. I'm going to keep on cleaning his desk until he says, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I might have something for you. Somebody is going to say that I can't do it, and I'll step in and say, yes, I can. This is blind faith. This is what allows me every single day to do what I do. Listen, I can tell you 1,001 reasons and excuses and things that went wrong in my recent 15 years of a career. I mean, you have no idea the ugliness that I had to overcome. And I understand, looking back now, that was that invisible person that was dropping my Legos that I'm building, company, business, whatever. I'm giving you a metaphor in here just to teach me how to build a stronger foundation, because the one that I had was weak. It was throwing me off because there was something better for me. Because it's easy for us to blame and make up excuses and say, well, it's his fault, it's her fault. No, I allowed that person into my life. Therefore, I take responsibility for that. And then higher power, universe, God, will remove that thing or that person out of your life, but it never comes in a logical sense. Because if a God were to show up and say, hey there, I'm God, you see my face, I'm about to take this bad thing that you have, you will freak out and maybe even get a heart attack. This is why it is your inner self, your non-physical being, that receives that message. We call that a gut feeling sometimes. We call that a vibe sometimes. Trust it, communicate. That's why meditation is a good thing. Have that faith in you. You were created in the image of God, if that's your prerogative when it comes to faith. And then science says that you are the highest form of creation. There's no one in this known universe, or nothing in this known universe, that has been given the gifts that you have been given. So there is a connection between the faithful and the ones that don't necessarily practice any faith in one thing. We have been equipped with amazing supernatural abilities. And that's where you have to trust. I got everything I need right within me. We call that faith, ladies and gentlemen. You are equipped. Now, you at the same time trick yourself and trip over your own feet and say, oh man, this sucks. I'm not good enough. I'm scared. I'm this, I'm that. Whatever you say after I am, it is true. Because the law of the universe will give you everything that you are thinking about. No matter what you say, how, when, where, it doesn't matter. You are right. There is no good or bad. There only is. You create it. I talk about the frog legs example, right? You may love fried frog legs. I think they are the yuckiest thing ever. See, one says delicious. The other one says yucky. It's the same thing. There is no good or bad. There only is. I determine if it's good or bad, and then I'm right. Like, this is horrible. Just like you are right. It is delicious. So please, re-identify. Do yourself a favor and take an inventory of the level of sincerity when it comes to your burning desire, and the level of commitment when it comes to your faith. You just so you know, you will never get anything just because. Like, this universe we live in wants good for you. There's nothing but well-being around us all the time, and we create the bad and we create the good. We are responsible for it. But what you got to understand, there's something called the law of economy. The law of economy states there is nothing that you will receive without giving something up for it. And it also states whatever you put into this world, you will receive in tenfolds. Just like when, you don't pay a bill and you think, let it go to collection, who cares? And then 5 years later, you get a lawsuit with interest rates on top of it and legal fees. Or you're trying to buy a car and they say, nope, you have this one thing in your credit. It'll always come back to you. So have faith that there's well-being everywhere and do good. Burning desire, baby, by any means necessary. I will not quit, because a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. When I say quit, I'm not talking about a network marketing company in there. You do what's right for you. You identify every season if this is still in my path or it isn't. I'm saying don't quit on your burning desire, because there are plenty of ways to $1 million. You just have to figure out the one that's right for you. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Again, remember, tomorrow we have a packed day. I'll be seeing you at 11 a.m. Eastern on this channel so we can do our ME show. Then again at 6 p.m. with your strategic partner show, and immediately after at 7 p.m. Eastern, about an hour and a half of golden content, not just from me, but from your strategic partners as well. And we're going to give you a whole lot. 100% complimentary. You just have to have that burning desire and have a little faith that we got the good for you. Until then, I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Peace out, everybody.